Baba says that we children are laying the foundation or sowing the sapling for golden age, for the new world. And Baba gives us a lot of insight into what is there in the new world and what is not there in the new world. Because we must have a clear picture of the world that we are creating so that we can create it through our thoughts, actions and efforts. So there are some things that Baba lets us know about Satyugi today. First thing that Baba says is there is only one language in Satyugi. And here, every 100 miles, there is a new language. And you see, there are so many languages that people speak today. But the biggest problem today we face is we are not able to communicate properly. So we speak so many languages and then there is lack of communication. Because you see, communication requires spiritual presence. And when the soul is powerless, then even when we learn many languages, speak many languages, there is still communication gap. And Baba says that in Satyugi, there is just one language. So how do we move from this world where there are so many languages to that world of one language? So first thing is, Baba speaks the language of love. And when you have love in your heart, then you listen. And when you listen, you understand. And you see, you don't understand when somebody is speaking very eloquently, but you understand when somebody is speaking with love and somebody is an embodiment of what they are speaking. So when their life, their mind and their words are in alignment, then that purpose of communication is served. And you see, this is an English class. The language we speak here in this class is English. And then sometimes Brahmin children, they have this thought that maybe I can't understand the Hindi class. Yes, but if you listen with your heart, you will understand everything. Because that is how communication happens. I'll give you an example. So there was a brother, he was a Kumar. And he came to Baba in this Saket center and in Delhi, and he took the course here. Very good Kumar. Every day he would come and listen to the Murli. He was studying and preparing for the entrance at that time. And then he got admission into a college in South India. And then he told me that, Didi, at that time we didn't conduct online classes. So there was no way in which I could keep him connected from here. So then he told me, Didi, I would visit the nearest center, and I said, okay. And then when he went, after 5 days I called him and he said, I'm not going to that center. So I said, why? So he said, in that center, they read the Murli in Kannada. And you see, Kannada is not a language which is, which is not even remotely similar to what Hindi is. So it was an absolutely different language in South India. And he said, they speak the Murli in Kannada, so I don't go to the center. So I said, but it's Baba's center. You go, and what you do is, you read the Murli beforehand, and I will send you a copy of the Murli. It was 12 years back, and at that time there was no technology, nothing that I could use. And I told him, I'll send you the copy of the Murli. So you just read the Murli beforehand and sit in the class. And then whatever is Baba is speaking through the instrument, just be there and feel the vibrations that Baba is giving you. And then he did that. He's very obedient, so he did that. And then after 1 month, he said, I can speak the whole Murli in Kannada if you want. I've become very adept at it. And he said, Didi, in any ways, when I had to live here, I had to learn the language. And the Murli became the simplest method to learn the language also. Because when I knew what Baba was speaking, so I listened with that, attention, and I could understand the words also. And it was so interesting that the words kind of started making sense to me. And I could actually know what this word stands for. So I told him, we have these barriers in our mind. I can't understand this language, that language. Just think about the service that's happening, Baba's service that's happening in 140 countries and every state, every region of India. And we are all divided by language, right? But when dadis went to foreign countries, did they know English? They didn't speak the language that English-speaking countries were speaking, because when Seva started in London, so Janki Dadi, she became the instrument and she didn't know English. But you see, today Dadi has translators. So now Dadi is in Avyakt form, but Dadi had translators. And they could translate and they could understand what Dadi is saying. So all those instruments were created and all the seva happened. So language is never a barrier. But you have to understand that the soul listens. And when you have love in your heart for Baba, then you will learn the art of listening and understanding Baba. And when you have this kind of an attitude, then you are moving to that world of one language. Because every sanskar that we need in Satyug, Baba is creating it for us now. So this is one very interesting thing. And then you see, the language of love makes even, so you see, there are Baba's children who cannot hear, who cannot see, who cannot speak, and yet they understand all of Baba's Murli. And mostly those who can't hear, can't speak. So they are not speaking, not hearing, and still they are able to understand what Baba says. So how do they understand that? Through the language of, love and vibrations. So Baba says that this is the way in which we create that world where there is one language. And then Baba says that you receive so much power with yoga. When you have yoga with Baba, Baba fills us with so much power that in the in the world of the golden age, we are called almighty. We are called all powerful. Do you think that Lakshmi and Narayan in the golden age will need to put boundaries and, keep their kingdom safe from attacks? You will need boundaries, and you will need treaties, and you will need, army, and you will need to threaten somebody that if you attack us, we will attack us back. No. You don't have any boundary in Satyug. And still you see, not just the physical elements that harm, not just that they don't enter the kingdom, but even Ravan or Maya cannot enter the kingdom in Satyug. And how? Because when you have yoga power, so at this time, when we are absorbing all the virtues and powers from Baba, we become so powerful that even Maya cannot dare to step in our kingdom for 2500 years until we deplete ourselves. And here you see, I remember there was one brother, and he was telling me he's into the business of security cameras and security equipment. And he told me, Didi, this business has the biggest market today. And then we were talking, and I asked him, so do you think that security and safety can be ensured like this? So he said, absolutely not. But you see, we are not those who provide security and safety. We are those who provide a sense of security and safety. So we are providing the psychological aspect of security and safety. So you see, if somebody attacks, they just attack. And then all the cameras, they get busted in 1 minute. And you see everything. You keep a person, you keep Z plus security, you keep whatever. That person can be killed in a second. But the thing is, you think and feel safe, feel secure. You think that I'm safe. When you have, just think about you putting a lock outside on the door when you leave the house. How breakable is that lock? Very breakable, right? It is not a big deal to break that lock. But then you check it 5 times and you think that I have kept everything safe. So Baba says that if you need real security and safety, then that comes when you are completely pure. Because you see, your vibrations, your auric field is your ultimate safety. And if you create that vibration around you through yoga power, then that protects you in Sangam Yuga also, and then in Satyug also. That will ensure that not even Maya enters your kingdom. And you see, we have had many incidents in the yagya, and also in my personal life I have felt that, when you are pure within, then anybody, even if somebody is very, somebody is very under the influence of their own sanskars, when they are away from you, they might speak anything about you, or they might do something to harm you. But when they come in front of you, they can't do anything. They are not able to speak whatever they were thinking or speaking to others. Or they are not able to do the same thing which they were threatening you with when they were away. And this happens because your protection is your own auric field. And In Sakar Baba's time, we had this episode when somebody came to kill Baba. You know, he came with the intention to kill Baba. And then when he came before Baba, his thoughts changed. And that happened because, and then, he just prostrated before Baba and begged pardon. And he said, please, please forgive me for even having created that thought to do this to you. So, you see, from a distance, maybe, when somebody is under the influence of their own sanskars, they might think something, speak something, do something against you. But then when they come inside your auric field, then they will not be able to think the same, speak the same, and do the same, because then the influence of their sanskars will be overpowered by the influence of your vibrations. And you see, Baba tells us this secret that in the final moments, when there will be scenes of destruction, at that time there will be lots of souls who will leave bodies, and the gates of going back home will not be open at that time. So there will be destruction, and then there will be going home, right? So at that time, those souls will just wander. And when they wander around, then they will try to enter into bodies. And that is the time when, if you have worked on your purity, if you have worked on your spiritual power, if you have accumulated yoga power, then that yoga power will be your safety, and also with that yoga power, you will be able to calm down those souls, give them peace, and make them wait to go back home. So those souls who are in pain and who are getting agitated, those souls you will be able to give peace so that they can just go home taking that peace, Baba's peace through you, the instrument. And Baba tells us that in Satyug there will be no threat, no protection needed, not even Maya can enter, but that collective consciousness in Satyug will be created because of the sanskars that we are creating now. So let us work on those sanskars, because in Satyug we will not be doing anything, that will be just the fortune of what we have created, the effort that we have made now. So Baba gives us this insight into Satyug so that we can prepare ourselves with those sanskars in this moment. And then Baba says that in Satyug there will be no sorrow. Even the animals will live in harmony with each other. And you see, in this world, people are fighting with each other, people are fighting with animals, people are fighting for animals. So, every kind of fight is going on. And even the animal, even if you keep a pet, okay, these days the pets are not receiving happiness from you. You are receiving happiness from the pet. People are not keeping pets to serve them. They are keeping pets so that the pet serves themselves. So this is why, we need to work on ourselves so much that we are able to serve the pets and the animals, and with our vibrations we are able to serve the 5 elements of nature, the animal kingdom, so that and when they are at peace right now, then they will carry those sanskars to Satyuga also. So, and you see, people think that by fighting for animal rights, they will do some good to animals, but you see that it's not, you cannot actually bring love and peace to the world by individual effort in this limited way. When you work on your purity, then the world changes, and everyone and everything in the world enjoys the peace and happiness of the new world. So Baba says, create that world. And then Baba says that in Satyug, we will not need advisors. So there are no wazirs or advisors in Satyug. So do you think that when Lakshmi Narayan take a decision, then they will run it through their ministers and advisors? No, they take a decision independently. And why do we need advisors today? So Baba says very clearly, then when we become impure, then we need advisors. Because when we are impure, then the intellect is under some influence or the other all the time. And you see, when you are under the influence of something or someone, some situation, some emotion, some trauma, some memory, somebody's company, then you think that you're making a good decision. And under that influence, it looks like the best decision you can make. But then when that influence is not there, then you regret the same decision that you made. And this keeps happening over and over again. Because whatever decisions we make, we are not in that state of purity and clarity. We are under some or the other influence. And when that influence is not there, then you start second guessing and you start repenting your own decisions. And I remember, there was this one Mata, and she told me that she had a contact in some school, and then she got her child admitted in that school through that contact. But that school was not the ideal choice for the child, because that school was much beyond the means of this Mata. But just because she had that contact, she got the child admitted. And then later on, that contact she had, she was a teacher in that school, so that teacher left the school. And then this Mata felt that, I was abandoned, my child was abandoned, and there was nobody to take care. And then I didn't understand the processes of the school, and then the fees were too much to pay, and then she regretted that decision. And I told her, so did you think that that teacher is going to take the full ownership of, making your child graduate from that school? So she said, I don't know, I didn't think so much. So I said, this is what, we don't think through our decisions. We don't think about the long term. We only think, this is profitable right now, this is easy right now. And then you are under the influence of some emotion, somebody's company, and then you take that decision. So Baba says that when we are pure, pure means uninfluenced, absolutely uninfluenced. And you see, you cannot become uninfluenced by just thinking that I am uninfluenced. Because you see, there are so many influences in the day. All day there are influences. Influences of what somebody says, what somebody did, what you did. Yes, your own karma that you did and how you felt about it, what emotions and feelings you created, they also influence you. Your further decisions. So what is very important is cleaning yourself every now and then. And you see, Baba has taught us this method that whenever you do any activity, just take out 10 seconds and clean yourself. You see, maybe you're cooking or you're talking. Okay, so you're talking, you're listening, there's communication going on. But in that communication, between that, take out 5 seconds and just connect with yourself and remember Baba. Or at the end of the communication, again, clean yourself. Come to a point, take Baba's peace and light and come to that state of equilibrium. Before starting the communication, remember Baba and come to that state of purity. While doing any work all through the day, keep taking this 2 second, 5 second, 10 seconds break. It's not a big deal. You have to just take an internal break. And just keep taking these breaks and reconnecting with Baba and keeping your energy pure. And when you keep doing this, then Baba says, when you're yog yukt, you are yukti yukt. Which means that when you are in constant yoga with Baba, then that reflects in the accuracy of your actions and decisions. Because whenever you are in yoga with Baba, you are cleaning yourself of all the influences that came, before that. And then whatever decision you make comes from a clean and clear intellect, from a knowledgeful intellect. And when you keep making your decisions like that, and when you don't, and you see, we have lost our confidence also. Because in the past, there are many decisions that you took on your own. And then when they didn't go, or I wouldn't even say that, they didn't go right, because what is right and wrong is a very long-term thing. But maybe you were insulted a lot because of that. Yes, it is usually public opinion that kills our confidence. And then everybody said, I told you so, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, and you did this, then now you see you're suffering. So you felt you were made to feel guilty about the decisions you took, or you were made to regret the decisions that you took. And you see, what happens is, when you make a decision, I'll give you one very simple example. I remember when I started cooking, so once I made a lot of rice and I didn't get the right quantity, and I cooked almost double of it. And then my mother shouted at me a lot, and she said, you have no measurement and you cooked so much rice, and who will eat it? And I said, okay, so from tomorrow onwards, you measure it and give it to me. So I immediately lost confidence, right? Because she told me, so I said, from tomorrow I cannot measure, I cannot have that ability. And then what happened is, 3 guests arrived that day, all of a sudden. And then the rice was there. So then my mother said that your decision was right. So maybe, it was a mistake, but it was right. And then my mother, because she had love for me, she told me that you're the Lakshmi of my house. And I said, you made a wrong decision and it's wrong of me. So I will never say anything to you. You make whatever you want in the kitchen. So then she never stopped me. And because of that, I did not lose my confidence. I again had the confidence that, okay, I will receive this touching. So at that time, I didn't know Baba. But of course, in Bhakti also, you have this thing that you connect with some external force. And I just kept quiet and I used to go very intuitively about things. And Baba says that, so all this confidence will come back when you become this yog yukt and yukti yukt. When you remember Baba and then make decisions, then what happens is your decisions, they turn out to be right. And 10 decisions in a row are right, you have again the confidence that when I remember Baba and take decisions, they will work out. And you will not try to get influenced by other people's opinion of your decision. So this is also there. So Baba says that if you want to be king in Satyug, you have this quality that you can make your own decisions and you can take ownership of your own decisions. And if you can't do that, then how will you go to Satyug and not have an advisor? So this is also something. And then Baba says that in Satyug there is no Satguru. There is no Guru. Baba says you will have a father in Satyug, teacher also, but no Guru. Because Guru is for giving you Sadgati, taking you from sorrow to happiness. And when you are already in Sadgati, when you are already in liberation in life, then you don't need a Guru. So Baba says a Guru won't be there in Satyug. Then Baba tells that in Satyug there will be no veil. There are different forms of veils in different religions. In Hinduism you have ghungat, and then in Islam you have that parda. So you have different kind of veils, and mostly for women, and or always for women in fact. So Baba says in Satyug there will be no veil. Do you think that in Satyug Lakshmi will sit on the throne with a veil? No, Satyug, no veil. So Baba says, veil is a very body conscious, a custom of a body conscious society, because you think that you are the face, you are the body, so you are very concerned about hiding the face or hiding the body. But Baba says you are a soul, and when the soul shines, then the body is automatically hidden. Yes, so if you don't want somebody to cast an evil eye on the body, just let the soul shine. When they see the soul first, they will not cast an evil eye on the body. And you see, Baba has trained us that with the light of purity, you will be able to make everybody see who you are, not what you look like physically. And when you succeed in doing that now, then you don't need to, have these customs where you're consciously hiding the face so that somebody doesn't fall for the beauty and attack or something. And Baba says that these customs won't be there in Satyug. So Baba gives a very beautiful peek into Satyug, and also in doing so, Baba gives us a lot of insight into what sanskars we must create right now, so that we can take them with Satyug, take them with us to Satyug. Okay, Om Shanti.